Hi everybody, it's Florentine Yuga here, speaking in a little bit of a hushed tone because it's the middle of the night and people are sleeping in the house. But this is also the only time I can get up and record with little interruption. So I wanted to say, I just want to say sorry for the lack of content these past few weeks. Been really busy adjusting to my new full-time job. That's really all there is to that. This is going to be also an Orica structure deck review. You're probably wondering where the Valen debut duel was for the Armored Assault Valen structure deck, but I wanted to wait, and it didn't seem right putting him up against the other structure decks in the roster, so I waited until I actually got another structure deck so I could have a proper debut duel between the Valen deck and the deck I got now. And that deck is Legend of Hermos, Joey Wheeler's Waking the Dragons structure deck. Again, made by Pegasus Fantasy Cards. As always, I'll leave links to his business in the description. Just very nice. So, similar fare as before. We'll take a look at the box. I noticed he did fix the ghost rare into a secret rare on this version. Here's what it says: use the power of Hermos to battle the forces of the Orichalcos. There's the deck list. I do find it interesting that he included 2 of certain cards, while 1 of others, like 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon and 2 Claw of Hermos, which we know Joey only had 1 of each of those cards. Just a very strange choice in my opinion, but I can kind of see why he did that, just to make the Hermos fusions a little more consistent. Also, the Hermos fusions in the anime are equipped spells. They are not equipped monsters that come from the extra deck in the anime. So we'll have to take a look. As you can see, Legend of Hermos, of course, is Joey Wheeler, and the cover card is the Claw of Hermos, the anime version. So we will open this structure deck up and take a look inside. These structure decks, if you're wondering, these structure decks usually run for about 80 USD with about $3 of shipping. So they can be kind of pricey, but I think it's the quality is well worth the price. If I do say so myself. As again, we've got the cover card taped in there with a sleeve into the front of the box, and then we have the rest of the deck in this cardboard container. So we'll just slip out the Claw of Hermos. As you can see, this is the anime version of the Claw of Hermos secret rare. I really like this artwork. It looks really nice as a secret rare. Send this card and 1 monster you control to the graveyard to activate 1 equipped spell card from your hand or deck, which this card and the sent monster are in its activation requirements. So as you can see, this isn't a monster card, this isn't a spell card or a trap. This is a legendary dragon card, which I think is pretty cool that he kind of put it in its own class. So I guess you can't really negate this because it's, I know in the real game they're spells, but I guess in the anime they were just something entirely different. So we got the our secret rare Claw of Hermos, and then we'll open the rest of the deck here now. So we have a second Claw of Hermos, Flame Swordsman, 2 of them. I do like the alternate artworks he put on a lot of these cards that you're going to see in this deck. So, also, yes, Flame Swordsman was a level 5 vanilla in the anime rather than a fusion monster. Joey played him as you can tell, Joey played it several times without fusion summoning it. So 2 Flame Swordsman. Double Red Eyes Black Dragon with 2 really rare artworks. I think this one was like a prize card, and then this one is actually the Bandai artwork. which I think both look really cool. But Red Eyes Black Dragon, I guess he put in 2 because so you can use like the ritual spell, the ritual monsters and the ritual spells, as well as more chances to get out your red black dragon sword Hermos fusion. Then we have double blue flame swordsman, which is this is actually the anime version. I know the real version is actually superior, but this is the anime version of Blue Flame Swordsman, where during the player's turn you can have this card lose any amount of attack to have another face-up monster gain an equal amount of attack. So that's pretty cool. And then when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Flame Swordsman from your graveyard. So that's pretty neat. You can, if you have this guy and another monster, you can decrease his attack to 0 and have that other monster gain 1800, which is pretty nice. And you can use it during the player's turn, which is really cool. He's kind of like an honest from the field. Next up we have the Knight of 2 Knight of Dark Dragons. It's the exact same thing as Paladin of White Dragon for Blue Eyes. Can only be summoned with Dark Dragon Ritual during the main phase. You contribute it to spell summon a Red Eyes Black Dragon from your hand or deck. Cannot attack the turn it was summoned. That's Knight of Dark Dragons. This actually was made into a real card, but they called it Paladin of Dark Dragon and gave it a completely different artwork. But here he stuck to the anime version of Knight of Dark Dragons with the original anime artwork. Next up we have 2 Lord of the Red. This is ritual summoned with Red Eyes Transmigration, and if 2 spell cards are activated in separate chains during the same turn, you can destroy all other monsters on the field after the second spell card resolves. So during the player's turn, if 2 spell cards are activated, destroy all other monsters on the field. That's not bad. He's actually still a level 7. They didn't make him a level 8 for some stupid reason like they did in the real version. So you could actually ARA this if you wanted to, like you should be able to with the real one, but whatever. Konami, I just don't get their line of thinking sometimes, but neither does everybody else. Next up we got 1 Panther Warrior with the alternate art. Does the exact same thing as it does in real life. 2000 beater, but cannot attack unless you tribute another monster. Next up we have Battle Warrior. Really liking the alternate art on this guy. He's a warrior that fights with his bare hands. Pretty cool art, but pretty crappy card, really. Next up we have the Brigadier of Landstar. Again, not the greatest of monsters, but it's pretty cool to have. Then we have Time Wizard. Really liking the alternate arts on these guys. Oddly enough, he didn't give this Time Wizard its anime effects. Well, he did give some other cards their anime effects. I guess Time Wizard's anime effect is really too difficult to translate into a real card. The whole aging cards mechanic just seems kind of strange for the actual game. So I can see why he just stuck with its regular effect. And then we have Guilford the Lightning, same as the real one. Jinzo, actually, this version of Jinzo is its anime effect, where when it's summoned, you check all face-down cards in both players' spell and trap zones. You destroy all trap cards on the field. Any new trap cards that are set or activated by either player are negated and destroyed. So yeah, it destroys all traps both players controls, and then neither player can act, and then any set or activated traps after that are also negated and destroyed. Obviously more powerful than the real one, because it also destroys the traps. So there's Jinzo for you. Then we have Rocket Warrior here. I don't know if this is its anime effect or its real effect, but when it attacks an opponent's monster, it can't be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from that battle. And then after the damage calculation, the monster that this card attacked loses 500 attack. Rocket Warrior, pretty iconic Joey card. Now that was all the monsters. Now for the spells, we have Star Blaster. You select a face-up monster on your side of the field and roll a 6-sided die. You increase the level of the selected monster by the die result. And then you contribute the selected monster to special summon a monster from your hand with an equal level. Pretty interesting. So you want to be getting like an 8, like make him level 8 or 6 or 7 for Red Eyes or 5 for Flame Swordsman. He gains level equal to the die roll. I guess you could also make it get a high level to sacrifice with the ritual spell for Lord of the Red as well. Just level modulation, turning things into tribute fodder is pretty nice. We got 2 of those. We also got 2 Dark Dragon Rituals, which is just the ritual spell card to summon Knight of Dark Dragons from your hand. Nothing else about it. Red Eye's Transmigration is used to ritual summon Lord of the Red. And you have to tribute Red Eye's Black Dragon and 1 warrior type monster from the field of your hand. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was just from the anime. I didn't know that was in the anime actually. That you have to tribute Red Eyes, and you also have to tribute a warrior, which is interesting. So yeah, forget what I said about just tributing Red Eyes. Monster Reborn, everybody had it. Good card. Arguably one of the most powerful spells in the game. Our ultra rare is Roll of Fate, along with another copy that is common. This card's actually really broken. It's a better 6th sense. You roll a 6-sided die and draw cards equal to the result. Broken. Then you send cards equal to the result from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Like I said, it's a better 6th sense. We have 1 Scapegoat with an interesting alternate artwork. Does the exact same thing as the real one though. Then we have Red Eyes, Black Dragon Sword. You have to bring this out by fusing Red Eyes Black Dragon with the Claw of Hermos, and then the equipped monster gains 1,000 attack and an additional 500 attack for each dragon type monster on the field. Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. Rocket Hermos Cannon is actually much more powerful in the anime than it is in the real one. Once per turn, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the total attack of all those monsters. Already a huge improvement. If you do, monsters you control cannot attack that turn. Doesn't matter, you board wiped your opponent and did a ton of damage. And it's obviously Rocket Warrior fusing with the Claw of Hermos. Next up we have Time Magic Hammer. This is Time Wizard plus the Claw of Hermos. And when this card is equipped, you banish all monsters your opponent controls. During your opponent's standby phase, you randomly return one of those monsters to the field. And this effect continues until every monster that was banished this way is returned to the field. So it can give you a pretty good reprieve from an opponent's field full of monsters. And that's all the spells. Now for the traps, we have Vow of Tribe. You'll almost never resolve this in a character structure deck duel. If both players each control a face-up monster with the same name as each other, those monsters cannot attack this turn. Very interesting effect, but you're almost never going to pull it off unless like you have a Red Eyes and then your opponent Monster Reborn's a Red Eyes from your graveyard, so then you activate this and those monsters can't attack that turn. Like I said, extremely situational card that'll hardly ever come up in this deck. Then our super rare is a Take One Chance. One random card is selected in the graveyard, and then if it's a monster, you summon it regardless of summoning conditions. If it is a spell or trap, you activate it regardless of activation conditions. Very powerful card if you get a good card from your graveyard with it. Kunai with Chain, loving the alternate art. Exactly what it says on the tin. Same effect as the real one. Double Magical Armbind is the anime version of this card. You tribute 2 monsters, then take control of 2 monsters your opponent controls. but the monsters you take control of cannot attack or change their battle positions. Pretty interesting, because you can, like, you already have 2 monsters out, you activate this, tribute 2 monsters, tribute those 2 monsters, take control of 2 of your opponent's monsters, and then you can tribute your opponent's monsters off for something else. So yeah, it's a pretty cool card. Getting 2 monsters out in a character deck, in a character deck duel really isn't too difficult, because it is a slow, I mean, kinda, but not really. It is a slower format. But yeah, this is still a pretty good card. Next up, we have Compensation Mediation. I don't know why Joey ever played this card. This card is actually absolute trash. But it's a cool concept, nonetheless. You can only activate this when your opponent declares an attack. You select 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard, and you shuffle those cards. You shuffle this card with the cards you picked from your opponent's graveyard, and shuffle them, and then put them face down on the field. And then you reveal one of them at random. If you reveal this card, you end the battle phase immediately. Afterward, return the opponent card to the top of your opponent's deck and send this card to the graveyard. So you get, so you activate this, and you take 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, mix them all up, put them all face down on the field, and then hopefully you pick this card and it ends their battle phase. The reason this card is still really bad is because it's negate attack but worse, and your opponent also gets to top deck basically whatever cards they want off of this regardless from their graveyard. They can reuse those cards. So 1 Compensation Mediation, interesting card, but poor effect. It's negate attack but worse. Next up we have Aura Armor, which is Joey's own suit of armor. You activate this card when your opponent declares a direct attack and your points are 2,000 or less. Negate the attack and summon a player token. The player token is summoned, reduce your life points by half, and then the defense of the player, the attack and defense of the player token are equal to your current life points after that. Celebration of Creation is actually a really powerful card. You can only activate it if your opponent, if a monster is special summoned by the effect of a spell or trap card, it is now the end of the turn. So your opponent monster reborn something, you activate this, it's now the end of their turn. Pretty good. Next up we have last card in the deck to round out the traps is Grave Robber. Actually the anime effect. You pick a card in your opponent's graveyard, apply the appropriate effect. Monster, special summon it to your side of the field, ignoring summoning conditions. Spell trap activated on your side of the field, ignoring the activation conditions. It's take 1 chance, but you get to choose 1 card from your opponent's graveyard rather than 1 card from your graveyard at random. So pretty interesting. I really like this Joey Wheeler deck. Some of the card choices I find a little odd, like multiples of Roll of Fate and the Rituals, as well as multiples of Red Eyes really confuses me, and Hermos, because those are supposed to be like one-of-a-kind cards in Joey's deck. But I do like the quality of the cards, and I can kind of see why he included two ofs of certain cards. So, sorry this video has gone on for so long, but I did have to explain a lot of the cards, because a lot of these cards were anime exclusives, so you probably didn't know what they'd do otherwise. But anyway, look forward, when I next get a hold of my cousin, look forward to the, this Legend of Hermos Joey Wheeler deck is going to be going up against the Valen Armored Assault Orica structure deck. So anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. This has been Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, tell me what you thought, and maybe even subscribe if you're new. These Orica structure deck videos are going to keep on coming as long as you keep liking, as long as you keep enjoying them. So look forward to that. See you all next time. Goodbye.